Hi guys, today I am excited because today I'm going to be testing out a brand that I said I wanted to try in 2021. And here we are, it's 2021, and one of the brands that I said that I wanted to try was Game Beauty. They actually saw my video where I mentioned them and they offered to send me their newest palette, or their only palette I should say, and they sent me the Adventure palette and I'm so excited to be testing this out. This is so cool. I have quite high expectations for this. I will show you the palette if you haven't already seen it, but this is a game-inspired palette. It's not inspired by like a specific game. I'm guessing because of like copyright reasons and stuff like that, so they couldn't really do that, but it's still like game inspired, and I think that that is very fun, and I hope that that becomes a thing in this year. Like, that would be awesome. I will admit though, when I first got this, I didn't realize that this palette had a pressed glitter in it, and you guys know how I feel about glitters. Glitters are not my thing. They're not eye safe. I am not personally comfortable putting glitters on my eyes, and I've had pretty bad experiences with glitters in the past, so I'm just not going to be using that. I hope that is okay, but I'm still excited to be testing out the rest of this palette and see how it is. So it swatched okay when I swatched it. The matte swatched pretty nicely. Some of the shimmers are a little too, I want to say subtle for my liking, but we'll see how they look on the eyes. There is a beautiful duochrome in this that I'm very excited about, and I'm probably going to use that in today's look. So I think we should just go ahead and get into it. I will of course link this palette down below in my description box so you can go check it out if you want to, but this is the only product that the brand has as of this very moment, but I'm sure they're going to come out with more. So let's just dig in and see what this palette is all about. I'm going to prime with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. So I gotta say, I really like the packaging on this. It reminds me a lot of the Kaleidos packaging in the way that it kind of folds out. I think that is really cool, and I'm guessing that's why this palette is on the more expensive side. I want to say this was $45, which is quite a lot for even an indie brand, but I mean, the packaging is definitely unique, and I feel like they probably spent a little bit of extra money on the packaging. So let's go ahead and see what this palette is all about. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with this shade right here in my crease, and this one is called Level Up. So all of these have like game-inspired names. So there's a little bit of kick up in the pan, but nothing terrible at all. I'm gonna start in the front portion of my crease here. That is very nice and pigmented. That's honestly more pigmented than I thought it was going to be from the swatch, but this is looking really nice. I'm gonna take this pretty much all the way across my crease here. Just gonna kind of pack it on where it is that I want it to be, and we'll see what happens. And I think I'm going to deepen it up a little bit on the outer corner with the brown, just to see if I can get a little bit of extra depth. It's definitely going on pretty nice and smoothly here, and it seems to be blending out okay. So I think this looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I really like the color of this. It's very pretty. I'm gonna take this underneath my eye as well here. I don't know if I'm gonna be using like too many of these mattes, because I have a look in mind that I want to do, and this is just kind of what we're doing. I know my friend Betty Jean has done a video with this as well. I think maybe she did 2 videos. I haven't watched any of them because I wanted to make up my own mind first, but I will link her channel down below if you want to go check out more videos about this palette. I don't know how she felt about it, so I'm definitely going to be watching her videos after and see if we feel the same way. But this is sticking very nicely underneath my eye. It took a little bit of time to build it up, but it's definitely doing what I wanted to do here. I'm gonna take a little bit of this green as well, which is called EXP. I'm not really sure what that refers to. I feel like I should probably know that, and I'm sure some of you guys know and can tell me down below. But I'm just gonna kind of run that underneath this tealy color just so I can bring in a little bit of green, because I just want to see what this color looks like, and that looks to be nice and pigmented as well. And it's also sticking very nicely underneath my eye, despite me kind of putting it over the top of a different shade. I just wanted to kind of switch up this color a little bit without it just being like completely green, and I feel like I like that. Now let's see if I can deepen this up a little bit in the outer corner. I'm going to take the brown shade here called Dungeon, and then we'll go in with some shimmers after and see what they look like. Just going to put this in the outer corner of my eye, and I'm going to blend it into my crease a little bit, mostly just on the outer corner. I do want most of my crease to be that sort of tealy shade. For sure on the buildable side, that's definitely one thing I've noticed about these mattes, is that they are pigmented right away, but you do need to kind of keep layering them a little bit for them to be very nice and opaque, but it's definitely doing what I want it to do. So I kind of feel like I'm getting forest vibes from this, and I guess that that's sort of like the theme of the palette. And I like that. So I think this is all I want to do with the mattes. I'm gonna go in with some of my NYX glitter primer here, and we'll see how these shimmers perform. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I'm just going to pop that right on top of my lid where it is that I want my shimmers to go. Just going to kind of blend this all over here, trying to not use too much and failing as usual. So I'm taking this kind of over the brown as well because I do want to layer a little bit of that sort of multi-chrome shades over the top, which is going to be the shade here called Stealth. This is a, how would I even explain this? It's a green with a brown shift, but it looks like it has a black base as well. I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but super intrigued by this. I'm going to start in the middle of my lid and kind of drag it outwards. And that is a really, really cool shade. Oh, I really like that. That was a nice surprise because a lot of these other shimmers are more kind of satiny-like, but this is very, very unique. I don't even know if I have a color like this in my collection. I feel like that kind of says a lot because at this point, I feel like I have most colors, but this one is really cool. And I think for the front portion, I don't really have a lot of choices, to be honest, because the only lighter one that would kind of go with this is the glitter, and you guys know I'm not going to use the glitter, so I'm going to take this yellow here. This one is called Treasure, and I'm just going to put that in the front portion of my lid here, and you can definitely see a difference in the formulas. Like the other one is way more shiny and reflective, and this one is almost more of a sort of dry shimmer formula. It's a little bit hard to explain, but these kind of shimmers are not my favorites. I do prefer something that's a little bit more intense, but the color is really, really pretty and it's blending nicely into that other duochrome shade as well. I feel like this look is coming together. I really do like the end result here. I'm going to take a little bit of this just like underneath the front portion of my lower lash line as well, just so we can kind of tie it all together here. Taking a little bit more of that green and just going over the edges here and making sure that these are nice and blended together. And I felt like I lost a little bit of that. And since this is the most beautiful shade in the palette, in my opinion, I definitely want to showcase it. And I think this is where I'm going to leave it with the shadows. I really like this. I think this turned out really nicely. I might pop something extra in my inner corner, just a little bit extra sparkle. Let me just go ahead and do that because I can't help myself. I'm gonna take Electric from Bitter Lace Beauty. This is one of their highlighters. I'm gonna give that a little spray here and just put that right over the top in my inner corner just so I can get a little bit of extra oomph in there because I love a very, very bright, intense inner corner. And this is a nice way to kind of spice up shadows that maybe aren't as intense as you would like as well. Just bring in some sort of a nice and sparkly highlighter or another topper shade or something like that. So this is where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to finish off my eyes. I will do some liner, mascara, all that jazz. I'll come back and I'll show you the look and I will tell you my thoughts about this palette. So this is the completed look, and to finish off, I put a little bit of yellow in my waterline, and that was basically it. I also just put a little bit of the Bitter Lace Beauty highlighter on my face and on my brow bone. And yeah, let's talk a little bit more about this palette. So my experience using this, I had a pretty good time using it. I think that the look turned out really good. All the shadows that I used performed very well. The only thing that I would say is that keep in mind that today I used the shadows that I was the most excited about in this palette. There's definitely a couple in here that I just, when I swatched them, I wasn't really blown away. In particular, this purple kind of swirly shade with little specks in it. That one swatched very weak. Also, this kind of shimmer down here didn't swatch the absolute best. So I'm more impressed by the mattes in this palette than I am the shimmer so far. This shimmer right here, I want to see more of this and less of this kind of shimmer formula, but that is just personal preference. Also, this is just a preference thing. Like, I know people don't like the most intense shimmers all the time, which I'm maybe in the minority there. So when I get like a satiny shimmer, it's just not really my favorite, but if it's your favorite, that's great. And also the pressed glitter definitely draws it down a little bit for me. I did not realize it was in there until I got this palette, like I said. So kind of wish that that wasn't in there, and I hope to not see more of that in the future, but again, personal preference. I know a lot of people love glitters, but I'm not one of them. Packaging is absolutely A+. I cannot wait to see what this brand comes out with in the future because I feel like they have so much potential. For being their first palette, like, I'm impressed and I'm still excited to just see what they do. Let me know if you want to see more looks with this palette. Maybe I can do that. I gotta see what the response is like and if you guys really want to see it. Maybe I can do like a look on my Instagram or something now that it's not December and I don't feel completely overwhelmed with posting videos every day. Maybe I can start doing a couple of Instagram videos as well. Let me know if that is of interest to you. And yeah, thank you so much, Game Beauty, for sending me this palette. Thank you so much to you guys for watching. Hope you're all having a good 2021 so far. I know it's early still, but still. If you want to see some other first impression videos I have on my channel, I'll put my playlist up on the screen. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.